Is that 10 seconds?
That's close
I
enough.
can't.
I think it was 5.
Cannot.
It's
Cannot.
5 minutes. I mean, 5 seconds. God, 5 minutes.
Nope. Can't be quiet.
Can you imagine if we tried to be quiet
no.
for 5 minutes?
I can't even hold my thoughts quiet for 5 seconds.
The second we go quiet, I think of, oh, there's that thing I need to tell Kara.
Yes,
that thing I
and
wanna
then
tell
when
Kara.
as soon
Here's
as
this other thought I had.
As soon as I open my mouth, I forget about it.
Hello.
Hey.
This is the Witches, Magic, Murder, and Mystery podcast.
And I am Kara.
And I am Megan.
Hey, guys.
Happy Tuesday.
Yeah, coming at you on a Tuesday.
Super excited to be here. I can't believe we're already at February 21st.
What is
There's
happening?
1 week left.
What's
Okay,
happening?
I don't know.
It's like this month was a blur.
Yeah. It did warm up today, though, you guys.
Oh,
You know how we keep complaining about the cold and the snow?
Just,
It's 60s today.
here comes the sun.
Do-do-do.
Oh my gosh, Megan, you were out and about traveling.
I met Brittany, you guys, in a gas station, and out of nowhere, she was like, I know this might be weird. Right then, my head goes, oh God, what is she about to say?
Like I have snot
What's
running down
about
my
to happen?
nose. I have, yeah.
And then she said, but is your name Megan? And even then, I couldn't.
Yeah,
I was like,
why?
yeah.
Did I drop my card or?
And she was like, I listened to your podcast. And I was like, oh my God. So that was great.
Weird.
It was so nice.
Yeah.
Brittany, I'm so glad that you said hi. I think she was a little embarrassed maybe because she said she thought it was weird, but I'm like, it's not weird.
We love that kind of stuff.
It's the greatest. I'm also socially awkward, as we've warned you guys, right? Like if you ever see me in person and you say hi, I'm going to react weirdly because I don't know how to not be weird.
Yeah.
But we hugged and it was great and I really liked it. And I knew exactly who she was because she's the one who told us about how the side pieces weren't on YouTube. And I was like, oh, right. So see?
Yeah.
That's Brittany.
Hey,
so hi, Brittany. Thanks for saying hi.
How's it going?
Please, anybody say
Oh my
hi.
gosh, yes, please do. I actually had somebody in the coffee shop. I don't remember what day, if it was the day of the market, and I was just like completely overwhelmed, but I was standing there and they were like, are you Kara from the podcast? And I was like, what?
No,
And they said,
fun.
we're obsessed, and like brought up some episode. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You all really do listen.
It's nice. Yeah, it's nice.
We're
you
not
guys
just
actually
seeing the
listen.
numbers, we're seeing the people. And it's so fun.
We love you guys.
Yeah.
It makes it, I don't know, it's just fun. Whenever I wrote my book, I made a video once that was like, it's fun to write and create something, but like getting to share it is what really makes it real, And so you guys are what makes it real. Like I'd have fun doing this with you regardless.
Right. Oh, yeah.
This is kind of what we used to do. Yeah. We would just sit and talk alone about things.
Oh, yeah. Or text about things.
And then we brought you all in.
And here we are.
Somehow I got more fun. Okay.
Yes.
Today's story.
Uh-huh.
I'm excited about this one.
Oh, gosh.
And it is a Kentucky one that we've mentioned a few times, but never covered. And it's one of these things that I'd always in my head been like, I don't want to do that one because everybody knows that one.
Right.
But then I realized I say everybody knows that one. And really, I didn't even know all the details of it.
Oh.
And so I was like, I'm just going to do it.
Okay, do it. Do it. Okay. Here we are.
On March 3rd, 1876.
Oh, taking it back.
Taking it back.
Taking it back.
Mrs. Allen Crouch, who had absolutely no first name of her own. The mystery of this whole thing is what was Allen's wife's name? Mrs. Allen Crouch. Bless her heart. Who even cares what her name was? She's a woman. So.
Right. She doesn't need to speak.
She was in her garden about 40 steps from her house.
40 steps. Okay.
Making soap.
In her garden?
Mm-hmm.
Man.
I want to make soap.
I do too. We've got some listeners that
Beach Witch
professionally
bars.
make soap.
Yeah.
And
I love watching her TikToks and her
yes.
videos on Instagram. But she sent us some soap. You guys remember that? It was the really
my
cool, like Lizzie Borden soap.
yeah, and then I
the
had to
green
run
one.
and buy some for Christmas gifts.
Yeah, you gave me
Yeah,
one.
I
It
did.
was so good. I really love the whole soap thing. It's one of those things I feel like I could get into.
Yes.
Because I have all the time in the world for
Right.
So she was making soap. It was around 11 o'clock in the morning. And then Mrs. No First Name, she said it was a sunny day. Not a funny day. It's about to be a funny day.
Really a silly day.
But it was a sunny day and the sky was clear.
Mm-hmm.
And then she starts hearing this noise of something just slapping the ground over and over.
Huh.
It was meat.
Oh.
Gristly meat.
Man, oh man.
According to Mrs. Crouch.
Gristly? So you don't really know that meat has gristles in it until you like feel it or bite into it, right? Or can you see the gristles?
Well, Kara.
Oh God, okay.
The chunks of meat were 2 inches by 2 inches or
Huh?
for those of you across the pond, 5 centimeters by 5 centimeters. But at least one of the chunks, I'm sorry, I can't,
You can't, no.
I can't think of a different word,
Right.
was twice that size.
What?
Also, this happened in a 100 by 50 yard or 91 by 46 meter
Okay.
area in Bath County, Kentucky. So that's about the size of a football field.
Yeah.
American football.
Yeah.
Suddenly I'm very conscious of American versus not.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Exactly. Because one's thrown and one's kicked.
Yeah. But the size of a football field
Wow.
is what it covered. That is a lot of meat.
That's a lot of meat.
I haven't seen that much meat since
19.
I'm going to make a joke my mom would not be happy about. Okay, so
What grizzled meat.
she and Alan, her husband, Mr. and Mrs. Alan Crouch, believed that this was a sign from God or it was some kind of warning.
To what?
No article I said explained that because I was like, what's the message supposed to be?
What did Jesus say when he was throwing meat chunks at you?
Today, we know it as the Kentucky meat shower.
Yeah.
It went on for several minutes, and Mrs. Crouch and her husband just sat there and like watched it fall from the sky all around
her
them.
umbrella and just boom, 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 boom.
And they sat there and they watched it fall until it stopped. And then the sky was clear again. So remember, that's something I want to keep in mind. It was a clear day. She said it was a clear, sunny day. Sky was clear. Okay.
That ain't coming from the clouds.
So when the meat first fell to the ground, it appeared to be fresh. Yeah. And some of it stuck to the fence. Some of it stuck to the house. But the rest of it was just scattered on the ground.
Ew.
I wonder if nobody mentioned if it like hit their bodies.
I know,
Can
that's
you
what I wanted
imagine
to know.
just like sliding down?
Boom.
Gross.
Yeah, was it like a fresh cut of like roast chunks? Like if you cut
I mean, they said
roast
fresh.
up? So it's like in those little, like you can buy the packages of
Stew meat.
Yeah. Was it like that? Is that where they got the idea of like stew meat? They just cut it. They said,
Some guy looking around on the ground and he's like light bulb over his head.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to make a stew out of this Kentucky meat shower. I'm going to call it my Kentucky meat stew.
So witnesses said, because of the color of this and the smell, which I was like,
Don't smell it.
Why'd you have to talk about
Don't
it?
smell it.
They assumed it was beef. But not everyone agreed.
Oh, we've got some naysayers.
A local hunter said, no, that's bear meat. Is what that
Bear?
Uh-huh.
Was it the cocaine bear?
I don't know if everybody knows the cocaine bear story. That's probably one we should share.
Yeah, we should do that one.
But a couple of guys tasted it.
No! Did they cook it or eat it raw?
And they said it tasted like deer or
It
lamb.
tasted gamey.
I think they
Like
just
they licked
tasted
it and picked it up and like.
Can you imagine? Like
They
there's
licked
some
some
meat. There's some questionable meat on the
on
ground.
the ground.
Not sure where
No,
it
he
came
grabbed
from.
it from the
From the house.
yeah, like this might be a little cleaner. Like poof,
Cleaner.
my little suction. Gross.
So
It's one that's
Fresh
stuck
meat
on
laying on the
barbed wire.
ground.
He's just like,
I'm gonna eat that.
I'm gonna eat this piece. It dibs.
A local I want that big piece right there.
Mhm.
A local butcher also tasted it
Stop it.
and said it tasted like nothing he'd ever tasted before.
Well, I would say so. It came from the sky and
from
landed
who
on the
knows where.
ground.
Do y'all remember the Oakville Blobs recipe? What's wrong with you? The Oakville
I'm gonna
Blobs
make one of
episode.
those.
Go
That
make
is
some
my
Oakville
next
Blobs.
concoction for the coffee shop.
We covered that one a little while back, but it reminds me of that. Like some
Yeah.
weird thing falling
Yep.
from the sky that
Okay.
seems to be like a biological
I
substance.
can't wait to tell you my side piece because it is also things falling from the sky.
Great. Okay, so the Courier Journal article, it's listed in the sources. It talks to this art professor at
Okay.
which at Transylvania University, which you all remember way back. We did
Raffinesse.
Raffinesse Curse.
Uh-huh.
And I went to Transy, and that was one of the reasons why I covered that story.
Megan got really sick. It was from the
curse.
the meat.
So when I went there, I had this art professor, and his name was Kurt Goede. His last name is Gohde. I would 100% have pronounced that wrong if I just hadn't had him in class. I think I had him for a couple different classes and loved him. He was great. I loved the art classes at Transy. Anyway, he is apparently randomly an expert on the Kentucky meat shower.
What?
I know. I had no idea until I'm reading these articles. And I'm like, why are they talking to Kurt Godey? Like, he's an art professor.
Yeah.
Anyway.
He knows all about that meat shower.
He sure did. So his favorite theory is this one I'm about to tell you.
Okay.
And it's going to be our favorite theory,
I
too.
can't
Like, you just wait.
Okay.
It's the cosmic meat theory.
Well, yeah. What
And
else could it be?
The chunks of meat
Stop it.
came from animals from a nearby exploding planet. So, like, out there in space, this planet exploded and the animals on the planet exploded with it. So then all their flesh just rained down in this football-sized area of Bath County, Kentucky.
What?
I love it. It was 1876.
I don't want to hear any other
Right.
reasons.
That's it.
I
We're
don't
done.
wanna hear
Goodbye.
Goodbye. See you next.
They didn't know anything about space. Like, they knew about
Right.
meteors.
Right.
So they knew stuff fell from the sky sometimes.
Yeah,
but they
yeah.
didn't know that, like, stuff burned up,
Yeah.
But it's like a different kind of meteor. Like a
Meteor.
meteor. Get it?
Meteor explosion.
Mm-hmm. There were lots of studies and lots of theories.
Okay.
Samples of the meat were collected and sent to scientists all over the country. I know, can you imagine? The smell.
I
Just
was
the
going to say,
smell.
like, how do they preserve it?
I don't know.
Like they do a finger when it falls off. Not sure it
Falls off. You know, sometimes your finger just falls off. Hate it when it's such an
I
inconvenience.
hate it when my phalanges are phalanges.
One scientist ran some tests on a sample of the meat, and he said it was tissue from the lungs of either a child or a goat.
I'm sorry.
Definitely one of the two.
Okay, how many goats had to have exploded to have 2-inch chunks all over a football field?
These next two theories, I don't know if this New York Times writer got it from a scientist or if this New York Times writer just decided
Thinks
to
they're
come
a
up
scientist.
with the weirdest theories I've ever
Okay,
heard.
great.
But here's what this person had to say. In the same
Say.
way that there's like, you know, in outer space, there's like bands of rocks and stuff. Okay.
There's bands of meat.
Yeah. This New York Times writer is like, maybe there's also bands of flesh and meat out in outer space. And we just happened, the earth went through the band and some of it fell to the ground. Again, it's 1876. They don't know a lot about
it could be true.
If you're from 1876 and you're
listen.
offended, we're sorry.
Exactly. We're so sorry. Tune in next time. But listen, you know how like water evaporates up into the sky and then comes back down? What
It's the
if
water cycle?
What if it is the water cycle?
The flesh cycle.
So circle the vibe. So there's dead creatures on the Sahara and they're getting absorbed up into the sky. And as they're getting absorbed up into the sky, literal meteors are hitting them and chopping them into chunks and like deferring them or whatever it is. And so then those are just circling around up in outer space until they get sucked back down like rain would. And it just somehow got into Kentucky's cloud.
We're going to call Kurt Godey right now. Be like, listen,
Kara's got it.
Kara's got this. I don't know why it took y'all so long to figure it out. She hears the story one time and she's like, flesh cycle.
Flesh cycle. Got it.
Circle.
Oh, it's so good.
But there's another one from the same writer.
Okay. They came up
also-
with another theory,
Mhm.
just in case that one didn't work.
The meat came from the, quote, ready?
Mm-hmm.
Finely hashed citizens of Kentucky who had been caught in a whirlwind while engaged in a little difficulty with Bowie knives and strewn over their astonished state. So
That's
they were just playing with the knives, and then a whirlwind came and chopped them all up. What? What? I feel like it's supposed to be a joke, right? I think it. Let's say that
Let's only just speculate for a second.
has to be a joke,
Has to be.
please.
I mean, were they nude? Because there were no clothing articles floating around with these chunks of
Naked
skinned,
Kentuckians,
skinned naked.
naked knife throwing Kentuckians
There were no eyeballs. There were no teeth.
in
there
a
were no
weird whirlwind.
bones. So the bones and teeth and hair and skin got tossed somewhere else, and then
Mhm.
here's your meat.
I mean, you're saying it like it doesn't make sense.
Right. I'll get there. I'll get there. I'll.
I need you to be a little more open-minded, Kara.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
Okay.
Uh,
Another scientist
another one.
said the meat shower was actually a Nostok,
No.
shower.
Okay.
I'm about to mispronounce another word.
Oh, perfect.
Nostok is a cyanobacteria that looks like jelly when it comes into contact with rain. So,
so it's
theory.
it's aliens from the sea.
Yes.
Okay.
It sounds like the Oakville blobs thing,
Right.
Like a bacteria. So the theory is the nostoc actually blooms on the ground.
But these idiots ate it, so.
So it bloomed from the ground, and then actual rain fell from the sky. And when the rain hit the nostoc on the ground, it made this like gelatinous thing over top of it. Yeah, and then meat grew
inside of it.
And that's how cows were made.
What came first, the cow or the gelatinous nostoc?
It doesn't really fit Mrs. Allen Crouch's story at all. It kills me that I can't find this woman's first name.
Okay, now I'm envisioning a phone screen thing with cows, some planets floating around, and flowers growing with meat chunks as the center.
Oh, for the background.
Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect. Got it.
Y'all wait till the Patreon people wait till you see the phone backgrounds in March.
Megan did such a good job.
I love them so much. I
me.
kind of want to make posters out of them.
We should.
Because I love a couple of
We
them.
should.
Okay.
Anyway, side piece.
So the most widely accepted theory, I should say, they've never really determined exactly what it was.
No, because obviously it's the chunks that got absorbed into the sky.
I mean,
flesh cycle. Flesh cycle. Jesus.
But the most widely accepted theory is that the meat was actually vulture vomit.
That's a lot of vultures.
Let's break this down, even though I hate it. Ready? Okay. Vultures eat decaying carcasses of a wide variety of
But they
animals.
said it was fresh meat.
If it had been recently eaten and not digested yet,
Oh, yeah.
that would keep it looking fresh. I hate this whole conversation.
Right. This is gross.
But then it would also explain why the condition of the meat in kind of various sizes, but still small, and the different types of meat. Because they were like, this looks like lung, this looks like cartilage, and different animals and stuff. The other thing about vultures is they never really know when they're going to get their next meal, because who knows when the next animal's going to
be dead in front of them.
When they eat, apparently, they like stuff themselves as full as possible.
Oh, so they're like Thanksgiving.
They're ready to throw
where
it.
it's like at their throat.
So then after they eat, they have to sit and like let it digest for a while.
Right.
But if something were to startle them or they had to take off quickly.
So do they travel in packs then? Because that's a lot of meat.
I know. Well, that's the whole problem, I think, with this theory. But like, so the whole thing is if they have to take off quickly, apparently this is like a common bird thing. They'll vomit in order to like lighten their load so they can move quicker and get away.
Yeah.
And vultures, if one of them vomits, then they all vomit. It's like a sympathetic, it's like some sort of sympathetic response where they're like, oh. So the theory here, let's all put it together, is that a group of vultures with very full bellies was suddenly startled and they took off flying and they vomited right over Mrs. Crouch and her husband's farm. The variety of meat, as well as the size and condition of the meat, all make sense with this theory, which I
don't
already
like
said.
it.
I hate it. We're talking about a football field-sized area covered in chunks of meat.
I mean,
So how many vultures?
They ate great that day.
And it went on for several minutes.
Yeah.
And she talked about how the sky was clear, and she and her husband sat there and watched it fall. So if they were they seen a big bunch of vultures?
How high can vultures fly to where they didn't see them?
That doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
Here's the worst part, though.
Okay.
Those dudes ate it.
They did.
If
Out of
it's
the
vulture
vultures'
vomit,
bellies.
if it's vulture vomit, those dudes ate it.
Those dudes liked it.
So
No. What if there's a serial killer airplane that flies around? And it, like, we don't know where's that stuff go when they flush the toilet. So what if they were just flushing meat chunks down the toilet that they didn't need to use, and that's how they dispose of the bodies?
have you ever seen that episode of the Carol Burnett show where Tim Conway is talking about the elephants and like the whole cast is losing it and he just keeps talking? That's what I just felt like. I'm Carol Burnett right now, trying to hold it together because who knows what Kara's going to say next. It's great. It's my favorite part of doing this podcast with you.
Good.
What if?
Just wait for a second. Let me. This is gonna be good. I really figured it out this time.
Vulture vomit.
Vulture vomit. I don't think that's it. It's either
So-
circle life.
Kurt Godey, the art
I
professor,
need to meet him.
he is great. He was great. I mean, it's been 20 years ago since I had him in class.
Right.
He was great then.
Yeah.
But he said that this is the theory he's most comfortable with. But he's also like, I'm fine with not knowing. Because he
Right.
was like, back then, he goes, if this happened today,
Right.
people would study it until there was an answer. He's like,
Yes.
but back then they were just kind of like, oh,
Right,
stuff,
yeah.
weird stuff falls in the sky all the time.
Tastes
Like,
fine to me.
I'm just gonna eat it. Let's have some stew. But he said this is the one that makes the most sense to him. But he also he also has the same problem with
Right.
you with it, where he's
Yeah.
like, how
That's
does that make
questionable.
sense?
That's questionable.
So, anyway, there you guys go. The Kentucky
Man,
meat
that's
shower.
incredible.
We've mentioned it a couple times, just like making jokes.
Yeah.
I think so. Now when we say it, you guys will know what we're talking about.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
That's all.
Yeah.
Thank you all for listening.
Thanks so much.
If you are, this is something we haven't said in a while. If you're enjoying the podcast,
Oh, yeah.
it'd be great if you go leave a little review.
Just love us.
If you're not enjoying the podcast,
Please don't
it'd be
tell-
fine if you don't say a word
just
about it.
don't tell. Like, just move along.
No,
like,
no.
just
I don't need to know why you don't like it.
Exactly. We don't need to know why you don't like our accents or why you don't like how many times I say huh
Or all the chit chat.
or yeah, all our random chatter.
We're best
or
friends.
The
We're gonna
fact
chit
that
chat.
we laugh. Don't tell us
Okay, so we love you.
so much.
We will be back Friday with another episode.
Yep.
Good.
Goodbye.